Quickie.
Oh man, I forgot about this gallery button. It's gonna be
Ah,
interesting.
I just googled reboot games and it gave me reboot the game.
Oh my gosh. You are the user.
Man.
Back in the mainframe.
Let me see what I got inside here.
For a short one.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to another exciting episode of Them Digidestined, where we are going to be talking about things. Chooks, go ahead.
Well, this one should be short and sweet. Remakes, reboots. I guess we could throw in compilation games. The whole I'm noticing a trend.
Uh-huh.
A trend of bringing back things that we played before and playing them again. Sounds kind of crazy, right? A little odd, a little weird. But I don't know. It's been outgoing quite frequently now. I've noticed.
You know, it's this actually ties into like the last two discussions we've had, and I'm just talking about like it's like the hype that plays into this, it's the nostalgia that plays into this, it's the making money that plays into this. You know, so it's I don't buy a lot. I mean, I'm glad you said collections. I don't buy a lot of collections. I may have bought every Sonic the Hedgehog collection that there was, even though they were all just the same game on a different one. It was literally, I bought the one for Dreamcast had one, GameCube had one, and then I think I want to say either the DS or the GBA had one.
It did. I think it was the DS.
Yeah, I think it was the DS that had one. So either way, I bought every single one of them. Am I proud of that? Yes. Will I do it again? Probably. But it's like, I mean, for me personally, I get into this kind of stuff because the games that are out today aren't the games that I like to play anymore. And so it is kind of a nostalgia thing for me. You know, that's what we were talking about. I mean, I'm just solely speaking on terms, in terms of like collections. Reboots and remakes. I don't do a lot of remakes. I bought Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2 HD remix. I bought that one. I mean, how could you say no to Final Fantasy? Like, I just can't. Like, I mean, I just can't. So I don't know. Somebody else.
Well, it's I'm glad that you touched up on compilations because I think out of all the three types of bringing back old games that I mentioned earlier, compilations those actually kind of work for me. Sometimes, in most regards, I purchased the GameCube Legend of Zelda collection, which had like Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time, the first two Zelda games for the NES. And I didn't have like the NES games anymore, and I lost my Majora's Mask, so it was a good rebuy for its value for the GameCube. Mm-hmm. Mega Man Anniversary Collection, Mega Man X Collection, those games works. They provide you all the games that you need. Metroid Prime Trilogy, I mentioned that was my top, well, at least my top favorite Wii game of all time. For a reason, they remade the game to have motion control and compilate. And they had like a nice little hardcover disc, artwork, the whole shebang, and it was more of a package, So it was. I sold Metroid Prime 3 to buy that compilation. It was worth that extra rebuy.
Yeah.
So I guess that's okay. I mean, that seems more appropriate because you get more bang for your buck, if you will.
Yeah. And then just to clarify, just kind of, I figure I have to say it out loud. A remake is when you take an old game and then you're gonna make it HD, or you're gonna add a couple extra little things here and there. That's a remake, right? A reboot is when we take an old game and then we just completely revamp it, and then we get something like Sonic 2006 or
Tomb Raider for
Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a better taste in the mouth, a palate cleanser, if you will. You know.
So it's like, what's worse? The collection, the reboot, or remake? Because you know, I specifically brought up Sonic 2006 because you're right, it was a terrible taste in everyone's mouth, right? You know, it was especially coming off of like something as great as the previous reboot, which was Sonic Adventure, and then we get Sonic 2006. But then you look at Tomb Raider, which is already a great game, and then they took that and they rebooted it into something better. Is that bad?
Well, for me personally, obviously I've heard reiteration is just reiteration, as people are going to be taking ideas and either repurposing them or adding their own spin on it. So when they do a reboot like that, to see Tomb Raider come back as something way much more in depth than it used to be, it's actually refreshing to see. I remember growing up and kids were talking about playing Tomb Raider because Lara Croft was like, oh, let me get out of these wet clothes, and it's like, she's just a whole bunch of polygons. Now you have and it's funny because now we have HD, and you figure that it's going to be something appealing to the eye. It's appealing to the eye in much different ways because of the environment and level design. And there's even a Kotaku article today about the new Tomb Raider. Made me think about going back to church, was the article title. So it's kind of interesting to see a reboot actually bring some new life, and not just let's throw this back out there so we can get some money, like the Devil May Cry reboot. They did Devil May Cry up to 4, I believe. 4 was on the PS3. Then they did DMC, which was also for the PS3. And I don't quite remember if that sold as well, but it didn't have as much as a lingering effect to my.
There wasn't much fanfare for it.
Exactly.
Actually, people protested it.
Yeah.
It was actually I own that game. I think because I didn't play the original Devil May Cry games, I love DMC. I had a really, really good time with it, and I know there was a couple of things that paid homage to the one before it, but I thought it was a really good game. And it's one of those cases where it's such a huge fan favorite, just the Devil May Cry series in itself, and it's one of those cases where I'm thinking, like, I get it, it's not what you wanted it to be, but are we seriously going to sit here and pan this game and completely ruin the franchise? Are we really that mad? If you love the series, you're going to support it no matter what, Mm-hmm. It's kind of how I always, I'm always like, gamers are the worst, gamers are the worst. I'm just like...
It's like you keep on supporting Sonic for some reason.
I don't even know why I let Randy, do these things. He's a nice guy. He's a really nice guy, but sometimes he just says shit that just makes me want to punch him.
Really? Sonic and the Black Knight.
You know what, Chooks? I don't know why I let Dalton and Randy join these things. They're nice guys. They're really nice guys. But sometimes they just say things that make me want to kick them in the balls, So it's good. I will. It's late. It's just late at night. So, anyways,
bring it.
It's like, you know what? It's all good. We'll finish this. We'll finish this. Okay.
Sonic 2006. I remember I bought it. And I took it home, and I remember I'm playing it. That was a Friday, and I was so juiced because I was like, I'm playing this all weekend. I played it for 20-30 minutes on a Friday. That thing was sold off Monday morning. I kid you not. I just remember I was playing. I was like, what the hell is this? This isn't Sonic.
It's one of those series that has had reboot after reboot after reboot, and they failed over and over and over again. I honestly don't want to stick on the Sonic the Hedgehog conversation because realistically, that's a whole different discussion.
A
whole different discussion.
And I will say that unfortunately, there are situations where it's like playing with a basketball over and over and over again. You're going to lose grip on that basketball. The quality of the basketball is going to worsen, and I feel like a big theme of that proposed Sonic conversation would be how much of that allure, how much of what we loved as kids is still around to this day in what they're making currently. Yeah. The same topic goes for reboots, remakes, and collections. Now, I'll say I'm an avid Kingdom Hearts fan. I played, every single game save for Coded. I didn't play Coded on mobile or the DS. And I still have all of them. I never traded them in. But I bought the collections. I have Kingdom Hearts 1.5 HD Remix and 2.5 Remix. Mostly because A, I'm a fan, and 2, just because A and B, 1 and 2, whatever. Mostly because I want to say because it's the final mix versions that are implemented in these collections, and I haven't played the final mix.
Yeah.
That being said, those I buy. The Metroid Prime Trilogy, I never played that, so I did buy that collection when they released it on the Nintendo eShop. I'm trying to think of any others that I might have bought. I do know that if Activision and High Moon release the Transformers War for Cybertron, Fall for Cybertron as a collection pack, I will buy it in an instant.
One, I guess it really doesn't matter the timing of it, but do you think that's just
timing matter?
You're hopeful. You're just hopeful, but do you really think that's going to get a collection?
No, I've not heard of anything about it. I'm putting it out there.
Yeah, I feel
like that's definitely something I would put my money to. That's something I would support. Yeah. And also I want to see that community flourish again. It was fun, I've had my time with Call of Duty. I'm no longer, paying for the same iteration, to use the same word. I find that Call of Duty 9 times out of 10, it's the same iteration over and over again with a different texture pack.
Yeah.
With a few different, changes. And I'm just, when I saw Transformers came out, that spoke to me as a little kid that loved, Transformers, I loved Beast Wars. I had to play that, and when I actually played it, I loved it. I thought it was great. And just we think of like what we want to play. There are people that to kind of harken back to the actual topic, the actual speaking point that brought up this topic. There are people that wanted Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess to be brought back as an HD title. It was announced yesterday. However, we have seen clues for it for about over a month or so. For that, I still have that on the Wii. I bought that launch day, the day that the Wii came out. I still have it to this day. I could take that Wii disc and play it on my Wii U. So that's something I don't necessarily see the actual point for. Granted, it may not be in print anymore, but then they could have done what they did with Metroid Prime Trilogy. They could have done what they did with Super Mario Galaxy 2 and just put that on the eShop for like $10. I don't see why you have to sell that and create an amiibo for it. Granted, I'm going to have some trouble saying I do not want that wolf amiibo with Midna on top, but that's a remake. That game is not even 10 years old. I don't necessarily see the point for it. Now, unless if it's something that is online centric, where you can rebuild a community to play on, you can breathe new life into it by getting more people together. That's why we keep seeing the Pokemon remakes. Granted, they're going to make money, but now we have the online infrastructure so that we can trade, that we can battle online, that it's a little bit easier to get every single Pokemon, to catch them all as they once said. And that's why also I said Transformers, just because it was a fun way. It wasn't just your usual shooter. Granted, it is, but at the same time, it made it a little different that I can, instead of run, I can change into a car, and that car can shoot people up. I can do drive-bys while I'm in a death match, and that's why I said that. But when it comes to something like Twilight Princess, that's not necessarily something I'm jumping to give my money for. I still have that original disc. It's not that old. It's not something that I've forgotten. I got Wind Waker HD for free. Thank you, Nintendo, for that Mario Kart bundle. But even that, I was kind of interested in buying it because that game came out for the GameCube. That game's a little bit older, as opposed to some of these other games and remakes. I kind of just don't really see the point.
Yeah.
That's my issue with like sports games. Madden. They're basically a damn remake every damn time.
Bruh.
You know what I mean? So
Bruh.
just because the roster's changed, I have to buy a whole new game.
Yeah.
And I thought about that too. Like before we started that, I was gonna ask, like, do we count sports games as? Can we legitimately call them remakes, or Yeah, it would be a remake technically. Like, can we technically call them remakes? Because there's not much you can do there. You know, there's just not much you can do there. As to like, I'm thinking of something like, you know, they're not doing like Madden 97 HD. You know, like they're not doing that. We are getting a new game. Some of them have more mechanics. Of course, the roster is going to change. Small little graphic change here or there, yada yada. So I was like, can I call that a remake? I was like, I don't know if I want to bring that up because I don't know. You know?
In my head, I consider like.
I got.
Go ahead, Chooks.
I think we should call those games reiterations.
Okay.
COD,
Okay.
Madden,
Okay. Yeah.
2K, reiteration.
And the difference
It's a class of
and the difference between COD and Madden though is just kind of like Madden has to do it. COD they don't have to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and the
They
same
do
goes
it
for
anyways.
Yeah, I mean the same goes for any sports game. You know, Madden, even like you know 2K, all you know, even WWE. You know, you know they have to do these kind of things. But COD, Battlefield, they know what works. You know, I guess it's kind of going back to the whole you know, taking the basketball with the grip. Except I feel like this grip doesn't run out.
Yeah.
It just never runs out. One question that I have to ask for you guys is, would you consider Skylanders a reboot?
No.
Or is that like kind of like a revamped?
I want to say a revisitation. Because as of right now, they're doing the, what's it called, Supercharged, where vehicles have been brought into play. So it's just finding another way to make money. Now you're selling the character figurines as well as vehicles, which I don't know. It's not like I'm gonna go out and buy them.
Yeah.
But I do definitely have to say, Skylanders, Disney Infinity. I feel a little bit more ominous about Disney Infinity because if you have Disney Infinity 1.0, if I'm correct, you have to buy 2.0 to play with Marvel, or you have to buy 3.0 to play with Star Wars and anything else before it. That feels a little bit more cheap. That feels a little bit more price gouging.
Yeah. Hey, Dalton.
Is my screen froze?
It's just fucking frozen.
All of you guys did for me for a minute.
I don't even know who you are anymore, bro.
I like totally just like I am wasted at the
Can we?
Either that or someone just said something and I'm just like, this person right now. On my mama, I'll.
Yeah, we need a revamp, a reboot right now or something of your face. What can you do? And we got someone who hates Marvel, everybody.
I mean, with the whole reboot stuff, like, or remakes, it's everywhere, though. Think about Jordans. How many times are they going to re-release 11s? It gets to the point where people just want to price gouge.
Yeah. Dalton.
No, I'm here. Don't worry. I'm fixing the situation.
Okay.
All
right. Echo? Yeah. Echo.
Cool.
Alright, I guess we'll just keep talking. Okay, so, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, one thing that I do know, I'm kind of jumping back to collections. I have Rare Replay. Pretty epic game. I never got the chance to play Conquer and things like that. I bought it more so for the nostalgia purposes. Battletoads, like, where do you get that opportunity to play Battletoads again? But it's like, what I noticed the most is that a lot of these remakes are pretty much RPG games, I want to say. A lot of them are it's kind of heavy RPG based, don't you think?
Yeah. No, you're right.
Like, how many times... I mean, granted, for all the right reasons, but we got 2 remakes of Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was a sucker for every single one of them. But, like, do you call the second one was a remake, because all they did was add in the animations.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is amazing. Like, all the more, I'm totally down for that. But I want to talk a little bit more about reboots, because we're talking about remakes a lot, but I want to touch more bases on reboots.
Not reboot the series.
Not reboot the series?
Oh, I mean, I guess if you want to talk about that show, we can.
No, I'm not talking about reboot the series. But you know what? I'm gonna put a box in your thingy like right now.
You need to get rebooted.
It's gonna be the reboot.
Did he just say he was gonna put a box in my thingy?
Yep. It's gonna be reboot though. It's gonna be reboot for the whole.
What did he just say?
It's gonna be reboot.
Might want to reboot that phase, man.
Yeah, you're gonna be reboot. So.
No, it's because I'm using a tablet for a camera, and the tablet died. We
were doing so well.
I know. This is on me.
It's all good. No, it's totally all good. Like I was glad I got to see your face for as long as I did today.
Chick-fil-A on me, I guess, to make up for it.
Okay, are you trying to reboot it or?
Yes, I am. I'm literally. This thing is.
I know. I'm just. God, every time I put in reboot, it gives me reboot. So, yeah. Other rebooted games I was thinking of is Pokemon, Oris, which I love that we call it Oris. But anyways, what a terrible game. They took one of the best Pokemon games in the series and just shat on it. Like I can't complain. I just can't express enough how irritated I was that game. Everybody was excited it was coming back, and then you get your hands on it, you beat it within 2 hours, and that's it.
Dog, how long did it take me?
Not that long at all.
I don't think it even took me 2 hours. I think it took me like an hour and a half.
Yeah, but then again, you bred a team in X and Y.
I cheated a little.
You had that team ready for like 2 months just to play through. And how many of them were legendaries? None.
Oh, none.
I was gonna say, what are you? Or not 7?
Starters, but level 1.
Okay, fine.
They're all level 1, whatever they were. I can't remember.
Congratulations! You want a cookie?
Actually, I do. I haven't eaten since Chick-fil-A this morning.
You guys, this Chick-fil-A business.
I mean, hey.
Out of control.
Hey, dude. Have yourself a chicken biscuit in the morning. You will thank me.
Why don't you have yourself a camera where I can see your face? How about that? Don't you talk to me about dry ass chicken sandwiches. I hate those chicken sandwiches.
Blasphemy!
It's just chicken and biscuit.
Hey.
I mean, I can have a camera.
Oh!
I can't have a chicken biscuit right now.
All right, so let's just talk. Let's wrap this one up because we totally got off topic. So then, I don't really know how we feel about reboots and remakes, but we can pretty much bring it down to this. This will be the question of the night. What game? One game. This time, just one. What game would you like to see get a reboot? You know, something that you think deserves a second chance.
Reboot or remake?
Reboot. As in, just take that game and just kind of change it up a little bit. Just revamp it. Kind of like Tomb Raider to...
Tomb Raider?
Tomb Raider.
Yeah. Well, one already got completed for me. Kid Icarus was a good reboot.
Cool.
Like, by beyond standards. That was on my wish list for like the longest time. I've been preaching about it ever since middle school, and to see that game come on 3DS. So my dream already came true. Any other games besides that? Since it's been that long, how about F-Zero, huh? How about all that? Bringing back F-Zero and rebooting it and actually making that a thing again.
I would say thanks for taking mine, but I knew you were going to say that.
Well, I'm just saying that I'm an avid Nintendo fan, and they have like a plethora of good IPs that they could just bring back and maybe bring their console back on the market, bring attention to them, and a lot of potential in that. F-Zero, I think, might be one of those games if they do it well. Another one that I think that they really need to revisit is Earthbound, because they are sorely lacking in JRPGs, especially seeing as how we're not going to get a Final Fantasy VII. What would have been good to counteract that? Earthbound remake in Ishii. Full-fledged Ishii, 3D textures, you name it. If they would have done that, as far as a comparison to Final Fantasy VII, I wouldn't be complaining about Cloud being and Smash Brothers being free advertisements for Sony. I wouldn't, because I have my JRPG. Like, oh yeah, throw it in there. It's all good, you know? I have my JRPG game, so it's all good.
All good.
It's all good. Yeah.
All good. Dalton?
Yeah. That's Earthbound. Earthbound for me.
It's very interesting that we're seeing a lot of revisitations, reboots, and remakes at the moment. Right now, we see new Guitar Hero on the market. We're seeing a new Rock Band, I believe, as well. But I do have to say, I'm kind of wrapping my brain trying to figure out what is something I definitely want to see revisited. I definitely was thinking F-Zero, but I'll definitely have to say Paper Mario. And I don't mean Super Paper Mario. I don't mean Paper Mario Sticker Star. I don't mean Mario and Luigi Paper Jam. I mean something like Thousand Year Door. Okay. Something along the lines of an RPG. I was trying to stay away from Nintendo. I was hoping to find something a little bit more more grandiose. Granted, that is Mario, and Paper Mario is probably one of the better IPs that they do have that they barely use. I mean, if I have to say anything else, I don't know, it's weird because it's like then you're asking me to actually say what do I want to spend money on that I've already spent money on. And I don't know. I mean, I do want to buy into the whole remakes and reiterations, especially if it's going to get me to play something else. So I don't know, maybe this.
Why did I not see this coming?
I want Crazy Taxi now.
That's what it is. It's Crazy Taxi with Simpson.
It is Crazy Taxi. That's pretty much what it is.
So, you like how I lulled you guys to sleep with that one?
Yeah, you did. I appreciate you.
Always here to help. Now, to be honest and to be serious, I've been on a tangent where it's just like no platforms, but if you can give me like, a classic Sonic game, and I believe that's what, Sonic Generations was, that's something I would love to see. A lot of the things that are like so classic, like definitely Sonic and Mega Man, stuff like that. Something that we've grown up with that if you remake it, you're not butchering it, or you're not just making a bare bones, lazy ass attempt just to get my money.
Mighty number 9. Mighty number 9.
You okay, Chooks? You want a lozenge?
I'm good.
Very specific.
Hey, my bruh, I think you need some water to help with that cough. No, yeah, but that, you see some of the people that worked on Banjo-Kazooie, they're working on ukulele right now.
Forward to that.
So something like that. I mean, if it's going to be something that's going to be a spiritual successor, or if it's going to be something that's just helping out, shit, to tell you the truth, I'd take a Crash Bandicoot Warped.
I was about to say that.
I've
been debating on that one.
So, I'm pretty sure I have that around here too, but I'm not going to dig around for it right now, so no more props for me the evening. I don't know. Simpsons Road Rage, I guess, for now will be the only definite answer I can give.
Yeah. So. Randy, you want to go?
Sure. I mentioned this earlier, but now that I think about it, GoldenEye. What, online mode?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lethal Injection.
Well, you remember they had a version. They had a version that came out for the 360 and the PlayStation 3, I believe.
I know they had one for the Wii as well. I'm not sure if
it was a similar. It was
a
similar bot. I think it was with Daniel Craig though. It was almost the same thing, but with Daniel Craig. That was like their reboot. Didn't do well.
Remember? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it didn't do well at all.
It was spotty.
Yeah.
7 out of 10. I call it.
Yeah, that's a little high.
I was gonna say that's spotty.
It was playable. You can play through it.
Yeah.
Just play it again.
Okay. Do you have another one, Randy, or is that the other one?
Dalt actually took it.
Okay.
Crash.
For me, I actually, God, I could just.
Don't say Mario Party.
Oh God, then that one needs to be done with. I'm surprised, Dalton. I'm surprised you actually said. I'm surprised you said Sonic. Honestly.
Well, it's just we haven't seen a quality Sonic game in so long, and I know some people will say Sonic Heroes, Sonic Generations, Sonic Colors, Lost World. Sonic Boom isn't doing anyone any favors. So that's just
still wrapped up.
It's probably going to stay wrapped up. Let's not lie to ourselves or our fans that we apparently have. No, I would love to see an actual Sonic game that everyone can say is great. We don't have to hear people say maybe. Granted, I say that, and I want to go out and buy Lost World right now. I was looking forward to it, and I have yet to get around to it, and I still want to play.
It's a good game.
For me, okay, so this is just super nostalgia, Rudy. Altered Beast. I think right now with where shut up, Chooks. With where we are
Wow.
okay, and they had they did a reboot of the series back in forever ago, like 2005. I think I want to say they did a reboot for it for PlayStation 2 and it was terrible. Correct me if I'm wrong. There was, and I want to say
Okay, that's something different. No.
I'm pretty sure they had I'm pretty sure they had a version of it that just didn't do too well. But I think now with what we have in terms of technology and not technology, but the way like all the great writing that's out, and like with games like Skyrim and what's the other one? What, Elder Scrolls and like Dark Souls, like the way those games go, I think we can have a pretty decent Altered Beast game.
Yeah.
Sticking on the Sega hype, Phantasy Star Online.
Oh,
I love the Phantasy Star series. I've always loved that. Was like one of the first RPGs. One of the first RPGs. My first RPG was actually Chrono Trigger. So, but Phantasy Star, Phantasy Star was the next one. And then it was, it had a really great run for a pretty long time. I think its port pretty much ended on the Dreamcast. No, that's not true. They had one for the Xbox. Maybe Xbox 360, I don't remember. But I stopped after the Dreamcast. But speaking of the Dreamcast, my final remake, if not a remake, and if not a reboot, give me a remake. Give me an HD of Power Stone.
Oh,
I gotta have my Power Stone. Like, I mean, you want to talk about, like, in terms of, like, the closest thing to Smash, Power Stone was just as fun, in my personal opinion. Like, the just interactive levels, full 3D. Like, why has that game not shown its face again? I even went as far as to watch the anime, which was terrible, but I watched it. And I just, it was such a good. I love my fighting games. If you couldn't tell, I just enjoy fighting games. So,
you know what? I actually, now that you mentioned it, Power Stone, it was around the whole arcade era. I want to see a renaissance of the arcade games come back again.
You ever like go to like just a random place? I want to say, like Scandia. Whenever I used to go to Scandia, Scandia had that little arcade it had that little arcade thing that had it had like all the Neo Geo games.
Yeah.
Like it had Samurai Warriors and stuff like that. Like that was legit, dude. Like that's something I would want to see.
And it's very interesting that you say this, because the other day I was reminded of some games that I believe were on the Dreamcast, or the Saturn, if I'm not mistaken. I believe all three of them are Capcom games: Star Gladiator, Cyberbots, and Techromancer, where they're kind of like arcade fighter games, beat 'em ups, something or other like those lines. And I will, to kind of take it a little bit further, I want to see some of these developers remake themselves. I want to see Capcom get to where they were before it was price gouging and withholding our precious Mega Man from you and just endless, games that you probably don't necessarily want. I want Square Enix to get, to get back to like Squaresoft.
Yeah.
As you said, Chrono Cross, Chrono Trigger. Those are old games. I wouldn't mind seeing those remade. I'd play them. As of right now, I would definitely play them. Capcom. Like I said, Capcom, Sega, Namco, Bandai. I kind of want to see them get back to their roots, or just kind of remake themselves so that it's not just quick hit or miss games. Give me something that I'm actually going to look forward to.
Yeah, I think I told you guys this, that I work down the street from Konami. Like, they're literally on my block, and sometimes I just want to go there and throw rocks at them.
I would not blame you.
Like, what are you doing? But no, like, I know, I know we're doing this, Capcom. And right now, Capcom is doing everything we don't want them to do. Like, realistically, all we're getting from Capcom is Resident Evil and Street Fighter.
And a gold Mega Man amiibo.
But, like, where the hell is my rival schools?
Yeah.
Obsession. I was obsessed with rival schools. And there was only, like, what, maybe two rival school games? Three tops?
So.
Maybe three tops? I love rival schools so much. It was such a fun concept. It was such an awesome concept for a game. What happened? Like, they're good enough for you to like pick their characters out and throw them in other games, but you just cannot give them another game. Get the fuck out of here! That doesn't make any sense to me, man. Get the hell out of here, Capcom.
It's such an unfortunate trip that all they can do is just pump out the same Street Fighter over and over again. Then they decide to do a new Street Fighter, and where's everything else? Like you said, rival schools. Where's that at? I bet any one of us here or anyone else watching, can go take a look at all the IPs that Capcom has or has ever made a game in, and just get lost and just like, this game is amazing. Why don't we have a new one for it? If I remember correctly, Asura's Wrath was a game I was really looking forward to. I remember it was announced, and next thing you know, I was like, the hell, that game came out? And, you take a look at, I mean, anyone can search Asura's Wrath, and just taking a quick look at it, it's like, dude, this is amazing. I need to play it.
Yeah.
Where's the support for it? Where's the push for it? Do you have to report it and put it online for everyone else to play again? Because that looks like something people should play.
Dude, I'm just kind of like, I just Wikipedia like Capcom fighting games, and they have so much in their arsenal that didn't go wrong. But yeah, it's just they're keeping it. It's just hidden somewhere, and in a safe, far away. Like, we're talking Rival Schools, Project Justice, Red Earth, Power Stone, Darkstalkers. Like, I think I played Capcom Fighting Evolution. Super Gem Fighters. I would love for that to come back. That was always a really good game. More Darkstar, Final Fight. Like, I just don't understand what the hell is going on.
It's like the Disney Vault. The movie will come out and then it'll disappear for like 10 years and then maybe come out.
And just going down this list, like, pretty much everything is like legit just Street Fighter this, Street Fighter this, Street Fighter this, Street Fighter this, Street Fighter this. It's pretty much all Street Fighter. And don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on Street Fighter because they are good, but I'm over it.
I'm over it, man.
Oh my god, what happened to Captain Commando?
I know very little about Captain Commando. Can we get how about a Mega Man fighting game? Well, there was one. The Mega Man the Power Battle, from what this is saying, but what was Captain Commando from? Captain Commando?
Yeah, but he was also in in Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Well, yeah.
But in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Crimson Viper essentially has a very similar moveset. But it's interesting because she has her own moveset from Street Fighter 4.
Yeah.
So it's like, why is it fairly similar? And, people refute that, but there's a lot of similarities to the moveset. But, no, yeah, I mean, that's a character that can, you could add another game that still flourished.
Even, what's his name? What's his name? What's the dude's name who be hopping on walls?
Strider.
I was going to say you have to be a little bit more specific than that.
I was talking about Strider.
Spider-Man was the first thing that popped in my head.
We're on the Capcom side, so
I know, I'm like, where is he going?
Yeah. I played his game on the PlayStation, and I did not enjoy myself very much with it.
Yeah.
But he can, I would love to see him pop back up again.
No, definitely. They have a lot of gold where, like, I was just reminded of Ghosts and Goblins.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, Sir Arthur was my shit on Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And then even, like, his old games, that's kind of, some throwback royalty. In some of these games.
And that's definitely one of those games that they can bring back and then, just do a straight up HD, like upgrade it, put it on arcade or something like that on the PlayStation Network store. And it's just more, it'll still be side scrolling. It's just the graphics are updated. I don't think that will be hard.
No.
You good. I would actually buy a game like that.
So I just don't know. I don't know. Maybe, I wouldn't even be mad against like a Capcom. They've had games like that where just Capcom fighters going at it and stuff like that. I mean, those are cool. Like, I like that. Just, I'm tired of seeing Street Fighter back to back to back to back to back. Like, give me a good chunk of games in between.
Knowing Arlec, they'll release it as a mobile game with microtransactions.
If you want to buy extra clothes for Arthur.
Give me strength.
Give me strength for 99 cents. Mom, give me your credit card.
Oh man,
I got 2 accounts.
that's the future, man.
I need money.
You know what? Maybe it's best that these games don't come back for that reason.
Yeah. Okay,
so we can't get pissed off by him.
Yeah, just
continue to hold them in a high
conversation.
It's just
Scratch this whole conversation. I don't want it anymore. Just forget it. Full circle. Scratch this whole conversation because this is all gonna lead to microtransaction. Good night, everybody.
This was fun.
Cool.
No, I will say though, this is kind of interesting because this was another topic we had that we can probably save for another day, where essentially the conversation molded from reboots and remakes, reiterations, revisitations to IPs that developers are sitting on, which is, definitely something that we could say for another day. But I find it very interesting that, there are titles we want remakes of, and then there are titles that we don't want remakes of. Something that has a lot of oversaturation, like how I said Legend of Zelda. Don't get me wrong. That is high regard. That is, God's love to the earth. Seeing Link, slice some people down in HD. But yet we have, in the past however many years, we got Ocarina of Time, one of the best games ever, re-released. Majora's Mask, same thing, re-released. Wind Waker, re-released. Twilight Princess, going to be re-released. And we don't have a brand new game until next year, sometime at the earliest. No definite date yet. Yet there's games that we were just talking about. When was the last time that we saw them, a new visitation? And we're like, where are those games at?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, honestly, goes back to the whole business aspect of it. They're pushing out these games for one reason, because they're stalling, and they know if they push these games out, these fan favorites, people are going to be so caught up with them that they're just, for the most part, they're going to be like, okay, well, this is going to hold me over until the new Zelda game comes out in December, because I guarantee you it will be a little more closer to, it will be September or December. I don't think this is coming out in the first quarter. There's no way.
Not at all. They would have given us a date if that was the case.
If it comes out in the first quarter, then I'm chopping my hand off.
Werewolf binding.
Nubby.
I will chop it off if it comes out in the first quarter.
Witness.
You heard it here.
You heard it.
Just keep that hand in the freezer, because I heard if you can still reattach it with surgery if it happens. So
thank you for that lovely.
He wants to have an auto nail like he's in Full Metal Alchemist. All right.
No, he has to lose the leg too, though.
Listen, Randy. Let's not. We're good. Chopping my hand off.
Like made out of a metal cannon.
Just chopping my hand off. Okay, I'll chop my hand off. I'll get a Mega Blaster on it. A Mega Buster.
Nice.
Lightweight jelly already.
Yeah. By the way, before we go, did you guys see that Screw Attack Astro Boy versus Mega Man?
No
I've been
way.
meaning to watch it. I didn't watch it yet.
Okay.
They went there. They actually went there.
They went there. Yeah.
Yeah. Boy win.
Huh?
Yeah, that win. Astro Boy.
Is that who you think won?
I'm assuming he did.
Okay. Just watch it.
I don't think so, just because their history doesn't lean towards. They have a real big bias, so I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'll watch it. I think Mega Man won.
Watch it. Let me know. It's interesting.
Are we gonna start doing Death Battle reviews? That'd be a good one to do.
Why does Superman keep winning?
Well, let me close this one real quick. Let me just close this. Ugh, God, I'm starting to feel that alcohol. Anyways,
why do you think I've been talking for so much? That's Haley Jerry's boy.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm Rudy Roots. That's Chooks. I don't even know if you're over there. You right here?
Right here.
It's probably going to show up differently. Anyways, Chooks, Dalton, Randy, thank you so much for joining me again. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bloopers.
I mean, I feel like if I can see me, that's all that matters.
Yeah, not really.
There you go. Oh, there you're gone. Bloopers. Bloopers. Yo.
Back now.
Am I back?
I see you now.
We're there. We're good. We're good.
Out here, bro.
Yo.